Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about ascender loops. So in script with a brush pen or with watercolor lettering, we have what we call an ascender loop. And today I'm going to show you that your ascender loop does not have to have a loop. You can actually make it straight, like in this example. So look at the word hello. Which letters have ascender loops? The H and the L. Look at this second example. I took off the loop. Much easier to paint and also to write with a brush pen. I actually do have a video about this with brush pens, but I thought I would do it again with the watercolor lettering and my paintbrush. Okay, so there's our ascender loop, and you simply do a downstroke. Okay, or you actually, for the case of the L, you would do it like an underturn, like that. Let's take a look at the letters with ascender loops, and I will write them all without the loop, actually. Okay, so the first one would be the letter B. So I'll just pick up my paint here, and I could do an entrance stroke, I guess, like this. Oopsies. And dip and downstroke, and then our reverse oval. So let's take a look at the next letter, the D. The D, we would start with an oval and a downstroke. Well, like the L actually, so an underturn. The letter H, again, is that simple downstroke. And we have a compound curve. The letter K, downstroke. And then for the K, we can paint it like this, simplified, again without the loop, or you could keep that little loop of the K like this. Totally up to you. In general, if I'm doing a no loop on the ascender, I will take out the loop of the K. I just had to draw a few more lines with my ruler, so that's, I paused for a minute here. The last two letters are the L. So again, no loop. And the T. Obviously the T has no loop, so it's kind of, it's an ascender without a loop, and that's its original form. You could actually draw the T with a loop, which I have done before, and it looks quite playful, but I make the loop super narrow, like this. And I know it might look odd to you, but it actually does look quite pretty when you are lettering. So there you go. You have all of the letters with the example without the loops, and you have to decide what you like. You could actually mix things up and write a word with loops or without loops. So let's try the word hello. I'll mix colors just to have something different. I clean my brush between the colors. So I have orange, pink, yellow, and orange inks in my palette. And so I clean in the water. So let's do the hello. Cleaning in the water, back into my pink, and the L's I will paint without a loop. Oops, I went back into the pink. Let's go back to the yellow. And end with the orange. The other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the loops was the positioning of your hand when you paint the loops. There are actually two positions. You can paint with the side position. And by the way, I'm using my Kelly Creates size 2 lettering brush. So you could paint from this side. Look at my hand, look at the brush, and I'll go up to the right and down and push down and paint that nice loop, just like I would with brush lettering. The other position is the vertical position, and that's, I mentioned this also when you paint ovals, but you can move your brush vertically, and sometimes you will get a little bit more of a a nicer curve, and definitely you can get a larger loop by, I find, by sweeping my brush on the vertical. So let's do that again. I don't know why I went into my yellow ink. I'll just zoom in a little bit. I know it's hard to see when I'm vertical, but I think it'll, so once again, from the side, lightly going up, and I'm lightly pushing my brush across. That's the tricky part, is to get your brush across and create a nice loop. I should have probably picked up some paint. Okay, so I'll do that again, going upwards, across, and pushing down. Now let's do the vertical loop again, and this time I am going to make the loop bigger. So my hand is vertical. I hope you can see. I'm going to go way out and around and down. Now look at that nice big loop. I can't really get that loop by having my hand positioned on the side. So, I mean, you definitely can adjust the size of your loops. The smaller the loop, I will remind you, the easier it is to execute. So if you have, let's try a large L. See that? If you have trouble with your brush, or even your brush pen really, then definitely try this positioning of the hand. Am I always a little bit off there on the angle? Keep that in mind when you're painting your loops. The other thing I will mention is that when I am painting a bouncy style, I will actually use that upward I will use that upright position. I'm having trouble speaking today. There. Oops, I forgot to mention that every Wednesday on my website, kellycrates.ca, you can pick up a free printable worksheet. You can download it, print it off, and it's the same as the lettering you just saw in this video. You can letter right on it. So this is my printer paper. I'm using my size 2 lettering brush. You just follow along and you practice your lettering. And then after you use this sheet, then you can go onto your watercolor paper and practice on it. So a lot of you might not realize that you can paint. I mean, I don't have a lot of water on my brush, but you can paint with watercolor inks, my watercolor inks, onto regular copy paper. And that way you can practice your lettering. Now I do recommend after you practice tracing, and both styles are here. So you have the Hello Summer in the script, and then you have the second Hello Summer, the fun, cute style on the bottom. Once you practice here on the sheet, you can go on to your watercolor grid paper, or you can take your watercolor practice paper and paint on, or watercolor paper actually, and paint right on it. When you do paint on your watercolor paper, take it out of the pad. I still recommend you use your ruler and draw your lines with your pencil, and then practice the lettering that you just finished painting and tracing on your worksheet. So enjoy this worksheet, and I'll see you next week.